Welcome back to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Anime Review, episode number 17. This I'm viewing the 22nd episode of the series, which is also I believe this is the 8th episode of the season, which is called The World's One and Only. Continue with your favorite world, please. Yes, that is seriously the name of the title. Now, this episode has 3 segments, like usual, though the first segment is complete and original. Unlike the past 2 episodes, where the last segment of the episode is the anime original one, they actually start off with the anime original one. Now, this one is focused on Sota and Lukua. Now, I have no problem with the segment. If you want to include a segment for Sota, fine, perfectly fine. I'm thinking though, is there something wrong with adapting from the Lukua manga? You did adapt, there was a few episodes back, I believe it was with, go away please, this notification. It was just with episode 17, roughly 5 episodes before this one, where they adapted from a chapter from the Kana spinoff. And I keep thinking, there is manga for these characters. You don't necessarily have to do an original segment. The segment's good. I like the segment. It mostly has tie into Father's Day, which that's quite strange. Given the fact Father's Day is in June, not August. I have no idea why the heck they decided to do this now. If they want to do a Father's Day thing, fine. You could have done it for Father's Day back in frickin' June. But this is August. Yes, it's basically focused on Sota, where he's trying to make a talisman for his father for Father's Day. He goes visit, he talks to Fafnir and Teko, I think his name is. He's Kobayashi's co-worker. And they speak to Kobayashi and Toru about this. The only one he doesn't speak to, I think he does speak to Edna. I don't think he speaks to Edna for some reason. And he does speak to Kana, despite the fact she's actually close to his age. Yep, so he makes a talisman. He tries several times. Ends up wrecking his own bedroom, which... Yeah, I thought this was quite strange for this segment. Where this fact there's clearly black soot on his walls. I think he knows some magic to clean it up because he keeps trying multiple times. And it still looks sparkling clean. What did he do? Scrub it clean after every time he failed? So, he decides to make the talisman from, basically raise the pressure of the room. Excuse me, since that was apparently the missing segment to make this particular talisman. He makes it his father, and you don't get much reaction from him. Apparently he likes it. Now, here I should point out something about Sota's father. He is, in fact, Kobayashi's boss. Yeah, so for some reason, I think they may have changed between seasons. I thought basically that Sota's father was a bit heavyset. Here he looks pretty thin. Between the seasons, he barely lost 20 pounds. Here he looks thin. I mean, he was a bit heavy set in the previous season. Here, he's a normal Japanese guy, where basically usually the scene is people who are very, very thin, somewhat muscular. Not sure what happened to him, and he doesn't speak at all. Oh, Lukua basically is asking Sota frequently about it. Of course, well, she also, at one point, you actually see her where she wakes up. Apparently, she sleeps naked. Yes, Lukua sleeps naked. Of course she does, because she's hot. And then she's like, titty day! And she proceeds to pull her shirt over Sota's head to bury Sota's face in her chest. Just to end the segment. It's quite hilarious. I think it's kind of funny. But it just doesn't for pure laughs. It's not basically she's I'm not sure how you would describe it. But that's the segment for it. Now, there is 2 anime original segments here. Not original. There's 2 canon segments here. First, from chapter 42. Yes, chapter 42 of the manga. Yes, I'm like, this is interesting. Yes. Oh, look at the 45. I haven't seen 46 yet. Oh, yeah, they did 46. 47. 48. I was looking basically to see if they adapted 49. I don't think they did. No, it might be for a future episode. Possibly, yes. Now, 42 is basically all about, well, Kobayashi gets sick. Now, they do cut a little bit out of here, which I'll mention exactly what they cut out here. So, we have it where Kobayashi is sick with a cold, and like, oh, she can go to work, and then she collapses right in her doorway. She can't go any further, so she basically just takes the day off. And of course, you have Toru contacting one of her coworkers. Now, normally when you call out to be sick, usually you contact the manager, not one of the coworkers. Maybe just to speak to him. I don't know. I mean, as far as I can tell, she's met Kobayashi's boss once. And she's interacted more with her coworker than she has with the boss. I don't think she's ever met Kobayashi's boss. Not really, no. Which, by the way, I should point out the English dub. He's voiced by Christopher Sabat. Yeah, this I thought was kind of weird of a thing for him to do. Like, usually, now the character is quite loud. He's not big, and he doesn't claim how much of a man he is. It's by far one of the most oddest choices Funimation made when I was watching the first season, where they casted him to play the boss. They probably want someone loud, like, I'm thinking of, like, why not cast, I don't know, John Sweeney, Patrick Stoltz? No, let's just cast Christopher Sabat in this role for some reason. I don't know. It's by far one of the most baffling decisions. Now, the other characters, I have no problem with their voice. Like, Toru's voice actor, Sarah Wyckoff, does a great job voicing the character. Kobayashi, I can't remember who voiced her. Kind of is voiced by Jad Saxton, who does an absolute great. I haven't heard the. Excuse me. I know they have been releasing the dub for the current season. Yet they have, which I think it's like just a few episodes in right now. So I'll probably watch it in the near future. Probably just after I finish up One Piece, I might get a chance to take care of that. Yes, but meanwhile though, so after of course Toru so she takes care of them. I basically wipe up some sweat. Of course, give her some food, and then of course clean up her sweat. Where you actually see, now in the anime, they actually do not show this at all. In the manga, they do. You see, in the manga, they actually show Kobayashi's panties. Yes, you actually Toru seeing her in her panties. In the episode, they cut this little thing out. My guess is the reason why they cut it out, probably because it's a little more wider audience. They probably did not need to show Kobayashi in her panties. That's just my personal theory of why the heck they said cut this little segment out for. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no real explained reason for this. But yeah, that was the only thing they cut from this, basically just showing Kobayashi's panties. And they show a little bit more, let's just say, detail of exactly how much sweat she basically removes. Now, we see Kobayashi where she does not take off her top like she does in the manga in order to basically remove the sweat. Here, she just pulls down her top basically to go down by halfway down her back, just so to work basically wipe the sweat. And it's implied that she pulled down her pants or her pajama bottoms too. It's implied that, but it doesn't really go any just show wiping out the sweat. And of course, she takes medicine, and you have Toru basically going back to her world to get some medicine, and Toru tries it. Seems perfectly fine. And the very next day, she apparently grows cat ears and whiskers. The segment ends basically with Kana using a catnip to play with Kobayashi. Oh, don't worry, she's perfectly fine afterwards. The next segment is a quite interesting one. Yeah, this one is a character-focused one. Like, a really big one. Good character moment for Luca, I think I pronounced. I don't know. I haven't heard exactly her voice actors yet in the English dub. So, I don't know who voices her just yet. I'll probably look it up later. So, we have her working at her normal part-time job, which is a candy store. No, it's not the candy per se. The reason why she chose to work there because she loves kids, and kids love candy, so why not work there? During a normal day, she finds a doll abandoned, so she spends the whole episode trying to find who the owner is, asking some kids, and then Kobayashi asks Kobayashi for help, and of course she sits around trying to find the damn thing, find the owner, and well, she actually does research online. They actually found the shop that made the doll, and then of course they find the owner. You don't see the owner's face, shockingly enough. I mean, she basically mentioned she's a high schooler, and she just had to because people thought she was being childish. To me personally, like if I see somebody with a doll, I'm not going to criticize them for it. I mean, I have plushies, so I'm not going to criticize them for having an actual handmade doll. Like, this is something that probably someone who loves them probably made for them. And if the person has it, they should keep it as a memento. Like, you want to carry it around, fine. It's not really big an issue. It's just that if you don't want to bring it to school, fine. Just leave it in your room. You just put it on your put it next to your bed, or probably on your shelf, just see it, or it's there. Like don't bring it to high school. Now, I personally never suffered through this in high school when I was going to ZCA. I mostly brought books to school. And in case you might ask, this is during a point in time before comic fans got a little more accepted than they did back then. Now, personally, I never suffered any criticism for basically liking comic books. It's not like people in my school had no problem with it at all. I mean, I did talk about some comics to some people. I was still reading a lot of comics. I mean, at the time, by the time I graduated high school, I only been reading comics at that point for 3 years. By the time I finished reading comics. And so, basically, no one openly chastised me for it, as normally people were chastised for liking comic books. As far as I can tell, no one had a problem with it. Not at all. I think it was Conan O'Brien, basically, when he publicly admitted he was a comic fan, that's when comic fans started getting more accepted. Me, I never accepted to the flack of criticism because I went to a Christian school. So basically, start with that. So, I do get hints next time. It ends with a hilarious gag where you have Luca basically come out of the bathroom, and she wants her friend Take, who is implied she has a thing for him, to come into the bath with her. Excuse me, yes. And then of course she starts chasing around the apartment, but naked. Now in the manga, they actually a little bit more than they show in the anime. They show a little bit the fact she's naked, but in the manga, yeah, you see almost full frontal nudity. You don't see any naivety. You see that, yeah, she's completely naked. And that's how the episode ends. I gotta admit, really good episode. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And, well, I can't wait for the next episode. Now, as far as I can tell, I think there's probably be about 5 episodes left to go for the season. I have not heard any confirmation about it at all. I mean, it is distinctly possible that it might be the case. I'm not sure. But yeah, not much to say about it. It's a really good episode. Okay, so that's the episode review. Next up, a comic corner. 2 of them. And then drugs in the world. And that'll probably be it for today, okay? Next video. Bye.